can I call?
What department can I go to?
Where do I go?
We need help.
What can I do?
Welcome to In Touch with Pinellas County. I'm your host, Jane Merlin. Today, we're in touch to learn about Pinellas County's Disability Advocacy Program. Sandy Sandmeyer, Disability Advocacy Case Manager with Pinellas County Human Services, is here to tell us about the program and how it benefits Pinellas County residents. Welcome, Sandy.
Hi, Jane.
Let's have you start by giving us a brief overview about the Disability Advocacy Program.
The Disability Advocacy Program is a free program to Pinellas County residents where the disability advocates assist people with applying for Social Security benefits through the Social Security Disability Insurance, or SSD program, and the Supplemental Security Income, or SSI program, and we assist with applying for Medicaid benefits.
Sandy, who qualifies for that program?
Well, people that want to apply for the assistance through the Disability Advocacy Program, first of all, must be Pinellas County residents. They need to be citizens, either naturalized or born in this country, or be a legal resident alien. They have to meet our income and asset qualifications as well. They should be between the ages of 18 and 64 and not have already started their Social Security process or have signed on with a representative. They should be disabled, either having an illness that's going to cause them to be disabled for a year or more, or a terminal illness.
So you mentioned the one of the requirements is an income eligibility. How would people find out if they're income eligible for the program?
We use the federal poverty guidelines, which can be found on our website at www.pinellascounty.org/human services, or they can call us at 727-582-7781.
Somebody who might be tuning in now thinking that they or somebody they know may qualify for the program, how would they get started to get the assistance from you?
I think initially it would be good if they called and spoke to one of the disability advocates. That way we could ask them some questions, see if they meet the guidelines, and then see if they have a disabling condition. Sometimes people need to have more medical evidence, or they need to explore vocational rehabilitation options before we can look into applying for Social Security.
So it's not an automatic approval with you all when you're doing the research, and you need a little bit more information to go on.
Correct. We look at everybody's case, we look at all their records as a team, and once we decide that someone might meet the qualifications for Social Security's program, then we start the Social Security application process. So there's a little work on the front end to have a quality product when we do the initial application.
So what kind of information do people need to be thinking about when they come to meet with you, for example? What paperwork do they need, or documentation, so that they might be able to start collecting that information for you?
The things that we really need to have are a list of their treating physicians for at least the last 1 or 2 years, their medications that they're currently taking. Even a resume would be really helpful to look at their last 15 years of work history.
Curious about that. How does the work history come into play with the program?
Well, people that have worked jobs that are more physically demanding but less skilled, it might be easier for them to get approved. People with a more skilled background that have more transferable skills may not think that they can do another job, but have some skills that would be able to be done in some other type of work.
Okay. Now, I know that this program not only benefits the residents that you're able to assist in getting the benefit, but there's also a greater benefit, if you will, for Pinellas County as a whole.
Absolutely. For example, if someone is on our Pinellas County Health Program and they get approved for Medicaid, then they leave the local Pinellas County resident supported program onto a federal or state level program, taking the burden off of the residents of Pinellas County. once someone is approved for monetary benefits for Social Security, then they can support themselves in housing and other sorts of living programs. The other thing is, because the disability advocates do this program for free, any back pay money that the resident receives can be used for back debt. It can be used to obtain transportation or affordable housing or any other financial need that that person might have.
So it really is helping people with their general quality of life as well.
Yes, and it brings money into the local Pinellas County economy.
So what would you estimate is the average number of individuals that you've been able to assist, either in a given year or maybe in a month?
Generally, we receive about 15 to 25 referrals to the program a month. Of those, we only take about 25% of those people. But of those 25% that we do take, many of those people are approved right on the initial application because of the work done on the front end.
So I know everybody's different. Every case is going to be different based on the information that you get and how quickly you get the information. But can you give us a sense of an average time frame that it takes to get somebody through the process?
Well, it is very different for each person. Someone with a terminal illness, for example, might be approved in a couple of weeks, and someone that has a more complex medical history, it might take them 2 to 2.5 years if they have to go all the way to the administrative law judge hearing level.
Can you give us an example of how you've helped somebody with the program?
Yes. There was a gentleman that was referred to me by our mobile medical unit. He was living in a shelter and he was not going to get better while he was living there. They were able to get him transferred to a hospital, and I was able to get his belongings to him so that they wouldn't be lost to him. It was all he had. After about 2 weeks in the hospital was able to get him discharged to an assisted living facility. And during that time period, I was able to expedite his Social Security case so that he was approved for financial benefits. He was able to get his own housing. Without our help, the paperwork wouldn't have been able to keep up with him. He would have never been able to keep up on the paperwork. And had he been back out on the streets again, he would have had his legs amputated.
Wow. You know, it must be so rewarding to be able to help somebody like that.
Absolutely.
In that situation, this gentleman was actually homeless, and as part of the effort to help him with his Social Security disability, he was able to actually get housing.
He was able to obtain his own housing once he had the means to pay for it.
That is really remarkable. Now, we should mention that Social Security Administration is actually the entity that does the approval of the disability, correct?
Correct. They do. They're the ones that ultimately make the decision on the paperwork that we've assisted the resident in submitting.
So you're actually helping with the navigational aspects of being able to gather the appropriate paperwork that lets Social Security Administration review the individual cases.
Yes, we do the paperwork from beginning to end. We walk the resident through everything, so there's nothing that they have to complete on their own.
Well, it's got to be great for those people who have somebody like you to be able to walk them through this process, because I'm sure it's very daunting.
It is. It's an extremely overwhelming process, paperwork-wise, definitely.
Sandy, is there anything else that we should know about the Disability Advocacy Program?
You know, I'm just really blessed to be able to do a job that allows people to obtain benefits that they're genuinely eligible for. And the satisfaction for me is to see someone get approved as quickly as possible so that they can be able to live more independently and without depending on others to get them their daily needs.
Well, and we've talked about the fact that every situation is a little bit different, and the time frame in which you're able to assist people is going to vary depending on case to case. But you mentioned earlier that you've actually had situations where it's been just a couple of weeks that you were able to get somebody through the process.
Yes, I mean, there have been people that have been extremely ill that we've been able to get approved with just the initial application and the appropriate piece of medical documentation. So, but while they're ill, trying to get the application process done on their own would have just been too much.
And I'm sure that this kind of assistance is also very helpful to the family members that you're assisting as well.
Yes, I have a gentleman whose wife needed some outside daycare, and by her being approved for Social Security, it allowed him to get to have the means to pay for that outside daycare during the day.
Well, Sandy, thank you so much for giving us the great information today, the overview. I think it's important to let people know that you are available, that this is a free service to citizens, and if they have any questions about it, they should definitely get in touch with you.
Yes, I wish that they would. Thanks
so much. Additional details about Pinellas County's Disability Advocacy Program is available at www.pinellascounty.org/human services, or you can call 727-582-7781. That's all for this edition. I'm Jane Merlin, hoping you stay in touch with us. Thanks for tuning in today. See you next time.